What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Crown Performance, another edition of Story Time. Graham!
What?
Come down, it's story time!
What?
It's story time!
So?
Come on!
Okay.
I'm here.
You sleep with that toucan?
All the time. 10 fed. Get yours. Help people out. Get it back.
Yeah.
Plug.
Okay, today's story time has a story to do with me, actually. It was last week. I was on my way to the gym, and I got on the TTC. I got on a bus near where I live here. And about halfway on that bus ride towards the subway station, towards Kipling Station, a gentleman around, well, he's not a gentleman, but around 50 years old, you know, late 40s or so, gets on the bus. Now, I'm sitting on the back of the bus and I'm just reading a paper. I actually remember I was reading an Uber story in the newspaper about how TTC is not liking what Uber's doing.
Shout out to Uber.
Now, I'm sitting there minding my own business. I'm in the back seat. My bag is between my legs. This guy gets on and he's standing over me and he starts a rude tone and just, his tone was very aggressive.
Okay.
And eventually after he said it about 2 or 3 times, I got more aggressive than his tone and said, sit down and shut up. He sits down. Now again, I could smell a little bit of alcohol off him too, but either way, he sits down and he starts going off on me in a few different languages. And I asked him, like, if you're going to insult me, at least say it to me in a language that I can understand.
Or you should learn more languages.
Yeah.
Idiots.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Nonetheless, English was the only language at my disposal at the time. So,
But now
I know
I got
that.
like 5 different
I
languages.
saw Star Wars last night. You know how many languages you ever heard
Is
of?
that a stone? Shout out to Rosetta Stone. Another one. Sorry. Shut up. Continue.
His bag is taking up a seat, and there's other people that need to sit down. And I said to him, like, you are being very inappropriate yourself right now. Your bag is sitting on a seat when there's a lot of other people that could be using that seat. And again, he goes off, he's calling me gay, he's calling me, like, a lot of derogatory terms, fag, blah, 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 all these things. At one point I turned to him, I said, I'm not gay, but if I was, would there be any issue with that? And he proceeds to say, you're holding your bag between your legs like a female, blah, blah. He stood up and he turns and he looks at me, he's like, I want to kick you in your face. And I said to him, you don't want to do that?
Wait a minute. Why at this point? Why didn't you walk away at this point?
You're right, and most times I should walk away from any situation like that. And
Violence is never the answer.
It isn't. And in most state times, I would for sure walk away. But you could tell that this guy was the type of guy that was so used to people being intimidated by him, by his stature and the way he talked and walked. And I just wasn't having it. And again, the bus was fairly packed too, so it still would have been work to get ahead of people, but obviously still less work than this negative altercation.
Makes sense.
But either way, I just didn't want this guy to think he can just walk around intimidating people, especially for nothing that's warranted. Like, he had room to sit down next to me, he just wanted all the space in the world. But either way, he said, yeah, I want to kick you in your face. I looked at him in his eye and I said, you don't want to do that, you're not going to have a really good rest of your week. He proceeded to shut up after that, and he sat right back down next to me, and then just kept mumbling things more and more under his tone, like quieter and quieter, but you could tell they're directed at me. Either way, it pissed me off, and I was like, I'm on my way to the gym, so once I got off that bus and I was getting on the other bus, I was thinking, like, okay, yeah, I'm angry now, I'm gonna fucking smash this workout. Like,
Alright, what does this have to do with anything though? Like, you just telling the story just to tell the story? Like,
well, no, okay.
which is fine.
No, okay, yes. The story is really to explain to you guys about negative energy, or just being stressed out and wasting energy, and how that totally can affect your workout and your relationships and everything.
Okay.
Right? So, I went to the gym thinking, oh, I'm a little hyped up, I'm a little angry, I'm gonna smash this workout. as soon as I got to about 75%, 80%, you could start to tell that that negative altercation, that stress, me having this, just dispute with another guy that almost came to physical blows. Like I hadn't been that close to actually wanting to physically do something to somebody in many, many years. And you know me well, and both of us try to avoid any situations like that, but we're also very capable if we happen to be in that kind of situation. But either way, it was a lot of wasted negative energy, and it was just stress, undue stress, and I was already going to the gym. Going to your workouts is stress, and we want to control stress. Yes, we need to adapt from the stresses that we, put our bodies and our minds under, but we can only handle so much without it kind of having a negative spillover. So ideally, I would not have been yelling or in an argument going to my workout and then be able to put all of my energies into that workout. But in your lives, do your best to mitigate how much stress you're under. Obviously, work is stressful and whatnot, but if you expect to continue to make gains in your relationships, in your life, and in your work, you need to make sure you sleep well and eat well and do your best to not get into unnecessary arguments. Walk away, when you can, or just come up with new strategies on how to avoid being in these super negative, stressful situations that don't help anything. And it's embarrassing, the bus was filled, but
you gotta push your pride and your ego to the side in those kind of situations. Because I'm sure you're actually pretty happy that it didn't end up
absolutely,
where you are in your life and stuff like that.
Absolutely, that would have been horrible. And there's cameras everywhere.
That's true.
Get in trouble.
That's true.
But just wanted you guys to be aware of just be careful on how much stress you go through, and don't be surprised if you've been in a lot of arguments or even an argument throughout the day, or just some kind of negative altercation. That very well could spill into what you're trying to go into later on and not have a good effect on it. It's just much like with fighters. A lot of them, if you're fighting with emotion, you're not going to do well. Alright, that's everything for today, guys. That's the story time. Thanks for helping out, Graham.
Yep, that was a pretty good story. Now I'm going to go back upstairs.